President Donald Trump's latest round of tariffs were suspended for most countries for 90 days in order to conduct negotiations. Those countries will still be taxed at a 10% rate on their imports, but Chinese goods will now be tariffed at 125%. So what happened? Well, the stock market and the bond market were very worried that Trump's policies were going to crush the US economy. The president said he was actually looking at the bond market and was worried about it, said people were getting yippy. They were feeling insecure. And so this morning, he privately decided with aides to put the 90-day pause on tariffs. The S&P 500 stock index shot up 9.5% as a result. Now, mind you, the tariffs are still in place at 10% on almost all countries, and the trade war with China has just intensified. If anything, what we saw today was that the uncertainty and the drama is going to be prolonged for at least 90 more days, and that tariffs, while not as bad as expected, they'll still be in place. The step back by Trump on tariffs is going to ease some fears that the US was headed into a recession. But it's worth noting that nothing is still clear. The 10% tariffs are in place. China's facing 125% tariffs. And while things might not look as bad as they did 24 hours ago, the fact of the matter is that companies are still in this moment of suspended animation, where they don't know what the policies are, and it's not clear they'll know what to do to invest. That same principle possibly applies to consumers. Are they still going to look to spend on automobiles, clothes, and other goods? Or are they so caught up in the tariffs drama that essentially they too want to be on the sidelines? We don't know, and this is going to be a big test for the economy. So as a result, this is simply a new chapter in the tariffs spectacle, not the end.
U.S. President Donald Trump on Wednesday announced he would pause his reciprocal tariffs on many countries for 90 days. But he raised tariffs further on imports from China. The announcement came less than 24 hours after steep new tariffs kicked in on imports from dozens of trading partners.
Well, I thought that people were jumping a little bit out of line. They were getting yippy, They were getting a little bit yippy, a little bit afraid.
U.S. stocks surged following the announcement, with the benchmark S&P 500 climbing more than 9%. Trump's tariffs had hammered markets, raised the odds of recession, and prompted retaliatory responses from China and the European Union. Trump said he would raise the tariff on Chinese imports to 125%, from the 104% level that took effect at midnight, further escalating a high-stakes confrontation between the world's two largest economies. He said he would at the same time suspend targeted tariffs on other countries for 90 days to allow time for U.S. officials to negotiate with countries that have sought to reduce them. A 10% blanket duty on almost all U.S. imports will remain in place.
Nothing's over yet, but we have a tremendous amount of spirit from other countries, including China. China wants to make a deal. They just don't know how quite to go about it. You know, it's one of those things they don't know how quite. They're proud people. And President Xi's a proud man. I know him very well, and they don't know quite how to go about it, but they'll figure it out. They're in the process of figuring it out, but they want to make a deal.
This is chaos. This is government by chaos.
The top Democrat in the U.S. Senate, Chuck Schumer, blamed Trump for hurting the country, but said he was gratified by the president's latest move.
Donald Trump is feeling the heat from Democrats and across America about how bad these tariffs are. He is reeling, he is retreating, and that is a good thing. We are going to continue to put the heat on him because there are still much damaging tariffs in place.
Since Trump announced broad tariffs late on April 2nd, stocks had fallen more than 12% for their biggest four-day sell-off in 5 years.